Hey everybody, it's Rachel from Burn That Butter, and today I'm going to be doing a follow-up on using seed. Seed is a capsule that you take 2 capsules a day. It is a probiotic. It's also a prebiotic, and the company calls it a synbiotic, where these bacteria strains work together. Now, I'm going to talk about what I thought it was going to do for me, what it is doing for me, and all of that. Of course, this is my personal story, but if you are looking into buying this product for yourself, you can make a more informed decision. So we are increasingly learning in the scientific community that your gut health, in particular, what is going on with your microbiome, that is the bacteria that lives inside of your gut, as well as the bacteria that lives on your skin. These things have a huge impact on your overall health. It has an impact on your appetite. It has an impact on how well you process and digest food, obviously in the excretory process as well. But it also has an impact on your immune system, and it has an impact on depression issues and so many other things. We are just learning more and more about the microbiome. And this was part of my motivation for getting the product. Additionally, if you're new to my channel, and I welcome you to subscribe, of course. If you're new to my channel, I have been on a weight loss journey. I started out at 260 pounds as of this morning. My official weigh-in, which I do on the 1st and the 15th of every month, I am currently 179.8 pounds. I have lost 91 pounds so far. I have been using also a product called Lumen, and 71 of those pounds are since I've been using a product called Lumen. I will put the information about that down below, down that way, right? So, but going back to seed. So I had been seeing more and more about seed. They had been putting advertisements on my YouTube when I go to look at YouTube, that sort of thing, and I became interested in the product. So it is a subscription service. They mail you 1 month at a time. And as I said, you take 2 capsules every day, preferably on an empty stomach. And there are, I forget the exact number, but there's over 100 different strains of bacteria that are in the capsules. And it is going to not only colonize, but kind of spread through and out your system regularly, and help you with your microbiome health. And so what were some of my other motivations? Well, some of my other motivations were because there is some evidence that hunger and appetite can also be driven by what is going on in your microbiome. And I thought, well, if I have a more healthy microbiome, maybe I would have a little bit easier time with losing weight. Maybe I would have less, crazy hunger, things along those lines. And also because of just the nature of losing weight, eating more vegetables, getting more fiber, all of that kind of stuff, I thought that would just kind of help me as well. I have resumed running. I am in training for a full marathon. I have just in March, so it's now May right now. In March, I did a half marathon, and I am running regularly. Okay, so we are talking about gut health, so there's going to be some things that just, usually one doesn't talk about in polite company. So another motivation that I had for getting seed was that I really have suffered from what is called the runner's trots. I used to be a runner in the past before I gained, all this weight. And I have just historically always had a problem with the runner's trots. And that is when you're running, just the sheer movement, the bouncing, the impact, perhaps, becoming slightly dehydrated during your runs. And you need to go to the bathroom. You need to find a place to go poop. And that is just not always super convenient. I tried to plan my runs so that I would have places to go if I thought I was going to need to do that. Maybe I would, just run kind of near my house until I was able to do that, and then take care of business, and then continue going. But even if I did that, sometimes I would have problems later on in the run, and I have to like duck behind a bush, and I'm like that person, right? Going behind a bush on the side of the road, in the right of way area. And it was just not only embarrassing, but gross. Like, nobody wants that. I also was having problems with ischemia, which is a real fancy way of saying that sometimes that when this would happen, I would have like blood in my poop, just from things kind of going through my system really fast. So I also just, my whole life had had issues with gas. I mean, everybody has issues with gas sometimes, but, I felt like maybe I was a little more gassy than some other people were. So these were also some of my motivations. So helping me with my weight loss journey, helping me with my appetite, just overall better health, and also my problems with running. So we're at the 2-month mark, and how have things gone? So I definitely have less severity with the runner's trots, and I haven't had the problems with the bleeding anymore. So that's a win. That's definitely a win for me. But I still do have the runner's trots. It's just not as like urgent and severe, where like I'm like this close to like pooping myself, like, on the side of the road sort of thing. But I still do have those issues, but it is much better. I think that there's just a little bit of genetics that goes on with that. I do come from a family where there is just a lot of digestive disease, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's disease as well. I personally do not have these problems, but definitely have those in my immediate and extended family. Okay, so there's that. As a general statement, I do feel like I am pooping less. I am going less. It used to be that I would go once, if not 2 or perhaps 3 times a day. And I'm not having that issue anymore. It was never me having diarrhea. It was just like needing to go like all the time. And so since I've been taking seed, I am probably going like once a day. Sometimes maybe I'll go for 2 days without having to go. But when I do go, there's just less volume, right? So I am interpreting that as perhaps my body is doing a much better job with actually digesting, absorbing, and utilizing the food that is going into my system. That's a good thing, right? We eat food for energy. We eat food to power our bodies, to help us to build muscle, and to power our exercise and all of those kinds of things. Well, if food is like kind of like, running through you really, really quickly, your body doesn't have a chance to utilize the nutrition that's there. So I do feel like I am doing a lot better in that respect. However, what, right? Because I am going less frequently, the consistency of my poop is definitely different. It's a little firmer. It's a little bit harder to pass. I drink a lot of water. I drink about 1 gallon of water a day. If I don't drink 1 gallon of water a day, then I am getting constipated. So I do have to be a little bit more mindful about my fluid intake since I have been doing seed. As just a general statement, I do have less gas. I have less gas and I have less bloating. Do I think that it is helping me with the weight loss process? No. It's not hurting. It's not hurting anything, but it's not helping. And I kind of was hoping that it was. Well, right now I am 91 pounds down altogether. I have been doing diet and exercise for close to a year and a half. I've lost 91 pounds so far. It came off really fast in the beginning and it's much slower now, but I'm losing just a hair under a pound a week at this point, and that's okay. I do feel like my skin is a little bit better since I've been using the seed product, but to be fair, I've also started doing something called derma rolling. So that's where you take these little kind of like micro needles and you kind of roll it on your skin. And so I feel like I still have the necklace lines, but it is not quite as, like in your face necklace lines. I still have a little bit of loose skin here on my neck, a little bit, and that my cat just knocked into my camera. Silly kitty. He wanted to make sure I was paying attention to him. I still have a little bit of loose skin here, but maybe it's a combination of the two, between the derma rolling and the seed, and just kind of having a little bit tighter skin, a little less, I still have a little bit of kind of the, smile, wrinkle lines, but just a little less obvious than it used to be. So, and then I also have, and I'm not going to show you, some loose skin on my stomach. I feel like that is tightening up as well. Now, I've had 2 children. My children are in their 20s, so I still have, the after effects of stretch marks and loose skin from the pregnancies. I only gained 20 pounds with each child, but between the 2 pregnancies with, over a series of years, basically gaining 100 pounds and then losing 100 pounds, I definitely have some loose skin, but I do feel like my overall skin condition is better, even in the areas where I'm not derma rolling. So I'm only doing the derma rolling on my face, here on my neck, a little bit here on my chest, because I used to have some of these necklace lines here, and those have since tightened up and disappeared. But I'm also doing it on my stomach. But other areas in the backs of my arms, my legs, I'm not derma rolling there, and everything there is kind of, my skin looks a lot better. I have less rosacea, it seems, since I've been derma rolling and using the seed. But yeah, I think my skin just looks a lot better. And then this is also going to sound a little strange, but I also feel like I have a little less skin sensitivity overall. If I go out in the sun, I'm not kind of burning as much as I used to. And I mean, I don't know. These are just the things I notice. I can't, say 100% it's due to using the seed, but it is something that's happening in my body. So as far as like cravings, kind of like intense cravings, yeah, that also has gotten a little bit better since I have been using seeds. So it is kind of expensive. I want to say it's like $25 or $28 a month, something along those lines. I used a code from Thomas DeLauer for kind of getting started with that, and I will. You can look for coupon codes for seed as well. So they've been really good. I'm expecting the next shipment shortly. Still have a few days left, and I should be getting it. It is very convenient. They send it to you. It comes in compostable packaging, and I'm pretty happy. So I think I'm going to stick with it, and we'll just sort of see how it goes. It is helping me, and maybe it will help you too. So hopefully you have found this information to be helpful. If you're on a similar kind of journey, hey, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I want to know what you think. I want to know what experiences you've had. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer, right? I'm, sharing my life in kind of this public way, even though there's no fame or fortune in it for me whatsoever. I'm just a person trying to help share the information that I have. So best of luck, and enjoy your life, right? Thanks so much.